this. And so here, Chauncey says, similarly, one source of middle-class gay men's distaste for the fairy style of self-presentation was that its very brashness marked it in their minds as lower class, and its display automatically preempted social advancement. So he's saying that the fairy's behavior is marked as lower class in two ways. One, for its outness and its revelation of the self, and the other because it shows vulnerability, right? And the other is in its in the fairy's femininity, right? In the self-presentation, that kind of body, very out loud style, right, which is viewed as a feminine style, but also viewed as a working class style. And so, what does that have to do with anything? Remarkably, I have yet another magical passage right here. Woo! I'm gonna get hit with the thing. All right. So. Kind of funky at the top there. So this is that was on 91, the earlier passage from the Giovanni, and this is 92. It says, I was staring at him. So this is about a sailor coming down the street, and the sailor and David pass each other. I was staring at him, though I did not know it, and wishing I were he. He seemed somehow younger than I had ever been, and blonder and more beautiful, and he wore his masculinity as unequivocally as he wore his skin. He made me think of home. We came abreast, and as though he had seen some all-revealing panic in my eyes, he gave me a look contemptuously lewd and knowing, just such a look he might have given to the desperately well-dressed nymphomaniac or trollop, trying to make him believe she was a lady. Now it's really the end. I would probably quote and leave much of the rest of it out, but I just want to give you a sense of where we were in the text. So remember what Chauncey says is that. It's that being feminine and that really loud style and the feminine style that marks the fairy as lower class. And what happens is, as a sailor looks at David goes toppling both down the class ladder and also is feels very aware that he seems to be feminine. Now, none of this is necessarily true. Remember, this is David's experience of it. And so what we have on the one hand the confirmation of this sailor's masculinity. Remember, David is totally in love with men who are in uniform, military uniform, right? And he himself was in the military. And so what happens is he compares the passing of his interaction with this sailor, he compares it to the sailor's own interaction with a nymphomaniac and trollop earlier. Now, that's not true. All of it is totally imaginative. None of this actually happened. David is simply imagining and projecting it onto the other person. So what he's saying is that his interaction with the sailor is like the sailor's interaction with women who are sexually transgressive. Either they want sex too much, or they're basically prostituting themselves. And suddenly then, what does that make him? The other thing to know is that they're only performing as if they are a lady, because they're not. It says desperately well dressed, to make him believe she was a lady. So they're using middle class trappings to make the sailor believe that they're of the middle class. And so what David has done, David now sees himself as this kind of overly sexually aggressive feminine person who also is working class. And so there we can see the toppling down the class ladder, and we can see how being feminine and having gay desire topples you down that ladder. And so we can see in David's mind, being queer means being feminine, and it means being working class. And so that very fear that the middle class men have of the fairy, that, oh, maybe that's me, David has once the sailor, he views as very masculine and unlike him, sees David and sees his desire and then rejects him and looks very, very disdainfully on him. That's all I got. If you have any questions, remember to text or email me. But that gives you a sense. So altogether, this would be like probably about 3 paragraphs to lay out the different meanings of these quotes, of the theory, and then to apply it to the text. So hopefully this was